Hey guys, welcome back to another review, and this time it's for a movie that I've been anticipating for quite some time, yesterday, being released on June 28th. As usual, I'd like to hear from you guys. Tell me in the comments below if you've seen this movie or if you do plan on seeing it, if you're a musical type or not. I know this isn't everyone's cup of tea, but still, I'd like to hear your thoughts. And don't forget, consider clicking on that subscribe button and that bell in order to hear any more notifications from me for your future enjoyment. Yesterday is a jukebox musical fantasy film directed by Danny Boyle and written by Richard Curtis. The film stars Hamish Patel in his feature debut with Lily James, Ed Sheeran, and Kate McKinnon. The story tells of a musician named Jack, played by Patel, who after an accident finds himself as the only person who remembers the Beatles and becomes famous, taking credit for writing and performing their songs. However, after his rise to fame, he risks losing Ellie, a potential love of his life, the one person who always believed in him. So this was on my must-see list for three reasons. One, it's directed by Danny Boyle, a director that I really respect because he tries different things. He doesn't stick to one specific genre, and this is his first type of musical-related film. Two is that, being that it is a musical, the Beatles songs are incorporated in it, and I love the Beatles. I like Across the Universe, so it's a new way of incorporating their songs in this type of story. And three, I love the theming. It's all about inspiration, ambition in regards to going after your dreams and how far you're willing to go to achieve them. The movie's theming, though, takes it a step further. It shows what happens when you become famous and the guilt that you may or may not feel in regards to how you achieve that dream, and also showing if you had to choose between staying with the people who loved and supported you or holding on to that dream you've been fighting so hard for. Aside from the theming, another thing I liked was the cast. With Danny Boyle films, he uses a lot of actors that have such an illuminating presence with the characters they play. Here you have Hamish Patel, who is in his feature film debut, and I was quite shocked to learn that this was his first movie. The guy is really talented. He can act, he's a comedian, he can sing, and I think he even played his own instruments. So this is a guy that I just hope to see in more movies, and Danny Boyle directed him really well. And then you have Lily James, who is his counterpart in the film, and she's a very talented actress as well, being in films like Cinderella and Mamma Mia. This woman can sing, she can act, she has great dramatic performances in most of her films. So this is a movie that was really fitting for her. So the two leads were just very convincing with their chemistry. And then you have other actors such as Ed Sheeran, which obviously everyone knows. He's mostly known as a singer. And this is, I think, his first feature film debut. He made a small appearance in Game of Thrones, but here he's playing himself. So with him playing himself, I mean, he played himself. And it was kind of cool to see him in this movie and act like Ed Sheeran and just acting like he did not know who the Beatles was, considering the Beatles is probably someone that he was really inspired by. And then you have Kate McKinnon, who is a comedic actress and someone that I haven't really seen in many movies. Her character has no filter with playing this agent that's supposed to be Jack's agent in the movie. And she just says whatever's on her mind. And she does it in a way she wants the person to be successful, but she's willing to go as far as kind of insulting them, but she does it in a funny way. So all around, a well-rounded cast. The musical numbers, of course, the pinnacle of this film, and I just loved how they incorporated them. He lives in a world where the Beatles don't exist, so he has to recreate all these songs from his head and just remember what exactly the lyrics were, and some of them he cannot remember. And one sequence that I really liked, probably one of my favorite moments, is when he's trying to remember the lyrics from Eleanor Rigby, a very famous song, one of my favorite songs from the Beatles. And as he's writing the lyrics down and saying them out loud, you see the story of the song, the lyrics within him being recreated on the screen, and you see what's going on in his head of what the story is being told. So it's really interesting how they created that. And you have a lot of moments where he's trying to play the songs to his parents and to the studio when he's recording. And all of them just see it as a song that he wrote, whereas he knows it as music that is probably one of the best songs ever within the last 60 years and what molded pop culture and music. And he just gets interrupted from his parents. They're calling Let It Be, Leave It Be, and they're just thinking, oh, it's a nice, cute, pretty song that he wrote. And Ed Sheeran's telling him to call Hey Jude, Hey Dude, and they don't realize that they're butchering these songs, but to him, these songs are what molded music today. Now, I only have a few minimal issues with this movie, and it's not enough to say that this film was one of his weaker movies. And really, I think a lot of his movies are really great. But with Danny Boyle, he is a certain director that really has established himself from other directors in his ways of style. And when a director can do that, that is a really good thing, because when you watch that director's movie, you can tell that's his film without knowing he directed it. And with this movie, I noticed he does have certain camera angles that were very random at certain times, because you see a character talking to another character and all of a sudden they go to a shot that seems very, it's crooked, it's a Dutch angle, and it's just very random that happened, and all of a sudden it goes back to the normal shot. So I don't know what he was trying to convey there. And then you have certain points when it's transitioning from scene to scene. You would have a certain dialogue scene, and then it shows them transitioning to a concert moment at a certain city that they weren't at before. And the way they flash the name of the town or the city up on the screen, it's either in big letters or it just goes really fast, really flashy. So it would kind of confuse me to where they were, even though that's not a big deal. I thought that was a bit too quick for me to notice. But those were just minimal things. And I know there's something that everyone is wondering, and that's why does the entire world forget about the Beatles? What made that happen? Well, there was that blackout from all over the world, but they don't go into that. That's not what this movie's about. It's about this character and about Lily James' character and showing him what's really important in life and him going after his dreams. So this whole thing about what happened to the Beatles' existence, it's not really the main issue here. That's kind of a MacGuffin in a way. It's something that is not important to the main storyline. This is just an all-around feel-good movie. If you're a Danny Boyle fan, Beatles fan, or if you just like movies that have an inspirational message, this movie is for you. This is definitely on my top 10 favorites for the year so far. I'm giving this film a 10 out of 10. I just loved it. It's exactly what I wanted. But I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. Tell me what you thought about this movie, if you plan on seeing it in theaters. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give it a like if you like this review. And don't forget to subscribe to hear any more reviews from me. You all have a great day. Until next time.